I'm going to select all, and I'm going to go to my move tool, and I'm going to click and drag, and it's still having a problem. So we are running into a problem of something that I haven't talked about yet. You could have solved this with all of the hints I've given so far, but we haven't talked about this yet, and I want to talk about it right now before I show you how to do this super exciting 9x9 grid. And it's something called image layers versus smart objects. So this is the part in the process where if you're working on your own, this is where you throw your hands up in the air and are like, this is too much. I don't want to deal with this. This is ridiculous. It should have worked right there. But if you know what's causing it, it's not too bad. And what's causing it is the difference between a image layer and a smart object. So what I want you to look at right here is when I dragged in this hotel, it becomes a layer in this. So, every different object is a layer. And in this layer is a little icon. This icon right here. And if you hover over it, it says smart object thumbnail. I was close. And these don't have that. And that means that this is an image layer and this is a smart object. Now here's the difference between the two. The difference is this, how technical should we get? This is basically being stored in a separate location. So if I do something like hit Command T and then make it, this small, let's actually zoom in on that and use the spacebar to pan up. So it's all of, what is this? 16 pixels by 8 pixels, something like that. But then if I zoom out again, so let me just hit Command T and bring it back up, you're able to increase and decrease the size without any problem. And that's because it's a smart object. It's saving it elsewhere, so it's able to mess with it in a wonderful way. So I'm going to hit Command T and let's make it so it fills the entire screen. Oh, look how pretty that is. And if you actually look up in the options bar, it will show you what size it is in relation to the actual image pixel information. So right now this is over twice the size of the original, which is generally a no-no, but we'll get into that later. With an image, so this is just an image. It's not a smart object. It's just an image layer. If I hit Command T and then I make it much smaller, I'm holding down Shift because I really like constraining proportions. Let's just zoom into that right there. So there we go. There's not a lot of pixel information. If I then zoom out again, Command T, here we go. It has now lost all of that pixel information. So let's go back in our history 2 steps. Doom. Use spacebar. So I just doom. And again, I just hit Command T. It lost all of the pixel information. It's just 16 by 16 pixels right now, or 25 by 25. So this is all the information that it has to go with. And now Photoshop is just guessing where to fill in the gaps between those pixels. And I have to say, it does a pretty good job, all things considered, but it's still just kind of guessing. So it does these giant gradient whatevers. So that's the difference right there. So the initial response is, so I should just make everything a smart object, because that will mean that I can increase it in size and decrease it in size and have lots of fun with it. You can make lots of things a smart object. I actually kind of like normal layer images, and this is the reason. If I want to start really playing around with the image, so for instance, using my Marquee and then using my move tool to move this over here, so let's just deselect that right there, then I can do that with this image. Because it is an image on this canvas, I can play around with it however I want. With the smart object, again, the thing with this icon right here, if I try to do that, so let's do the Marquee tool and then try to move it, it doesn't let me do it. It's just there as a single image on the page. So it's much better if I want to increase and decrease it in size, but if I want to do anything else with it, it's really nice to have it as an image layer. So we'll dig into this more later, but the important thing, the only thing you need to remember right now is there are 2 different types of layers. There's more types of layers. There's 2 different types of layers you need to worry about right now. And one is called a smart object, and it has a little icon right like this, and one is just called an image layer. Whenever you're having a problem, in Photoshop, the first place to look is in your layers palette. I've said that a couple of times. I'll say it a couple of more. One of the things is the layer stacking order, for sure. Another thing is what type of layer is it? And it's possible if it's the wrong type of layer, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. Now, notably, you can switch between. So if I were to right click on this layer, don't be scared of what's about to pop up. It's a lot. And just hit Rasterize Layer. So here, let me actually click it right here so you can see this icon as I do it. So here we go, Rasterize Layer. This just becomes a normal image layer. Similarly, if I convert it to Smart Object, I can flip the other way. So I can hit Rasterize Layer, which makes it into an image layer, convert to Smart Object, which makes it a normal layer. So I'm just kind of trying to hit this in. There's image layers and there's smart objects, and they work differently. And when you run into problems, that's something to flag. Look in the layers palette, and that might be why you're not able to edit the image.